Hi friends, welcome to the free fear releasing workshop. My name is Kassi Underwood, so if you're new, welcome. When you get here, just tell me your name and where you are coming from. Hi guys, I see you. Hello. So just share your name and where you are when you get here. Hi. Hi friends, welcome. Hi Caroline in New York. I'm also in New York. Are you in New York City? Hey Walker. Hey Eileen. Hi. Hi Wendy. Hey Rachel. Oh, you're so welcome. Hey, Anna. I used to live in Austin. Hi, Melinda. Nice, Caroline. Awesome. Hey, Elizabeth. So we're just saying where we are. We're telling everyone our names and where we're located. Hey, Steven. Oh my gosh, I miss you. Amazing, Elizabeth. Aw. Hi guys, when you get here, just share your name and where you're tuning in from. Hey Nat and Caroline and Marilyn. Hey Casey. Aw, I miss you, Steven. Hey, Maya. Oh my God, Maya from Portland is here. Hey, Claire in Montreal. Hey, Alex in New Mexico. So if you're just coming in, we're sharing our names and where we are. Hey, Jess in LA. It's all my people. So you're just sharing your name and where you're tuning in from. And we'll get started in just a minute. If you don't have a pen and paper, go ahead and grab them because we're going to do some writing and get free of these fears. Okay guys, so basically how it's gonna work is I am squeezing a 2-hour workshop into 1 hour. And some of these concepts that I'm going to be talking about, if you're new to me, they might be they might stretch your mind a little bit. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And normally the way that this workshop works is that that people are in person. So they're able to volunteer their experiences and ask questions. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is be super participatory in the comment section so that I can actually respond to what you're going through and I'm not just over here guessing what kind of fears you're working with. I really want us to be on the same page. My guess is that you're going to share some similar fears and we'll be able to work through those together. And my hope and the purpose today is for you to walk away feeling free and feeling like you have a tool that you can use again and again and again as we walk through this uncertain time. And you'll be able to walk through this uncertain time with peace. And that peace is not going to come from knowing that everything is going to be okay, because we don't know what's going to happen, and that is the truth. But we can know that we have powerhouse tools to take us through the other side of any fear, because the only thing that really is stopping us from having peace of mind, it's not the external world that stops us from peace of mind, it's fear. that stops us from peace of mind, right? So what we need is a tool to handle the fear, and that is absolutely available to you, and I'm going to teach you that tool today in a very, very short order. So I'm going to start with a little talk, and then we'll move into some sharing and some writing, and then I'm going to guide you through a meditation. If you're just coming in, welcome to the party. My name is Kassi, and what we're doing is sharing our names and where we're tuning in from. So go ahead and share your name and where we're tuning in from. The other thing I'll say is that the work that I teach is pretty deep. So for some of you, it might feel intense, but the purpose of it is really to bring you to freedom. So if you can hang with it, great. If you can, there'll be a replay later. So if you just go as deep as you want to, and then you can always do it again later when you're feeling more confident in it. So, hi, Jackie from Maine. All right. So guys, coronavirus is here, and it's my firm belief now that we have one job, and that is to raise the vibration of the planet together through our mutual love for each other right now. And so that's the deeper work beyond just doing the fear work, is to really get back to that place of love where we can be of service to other people. I know that some of you may be feeling such intense fear right now that it's actually hard to even function. You might be obsessing, reading the news all day, checking your social media, your Instagram. You're laughing at the memes, but also in like a lot of fear and pain. And that is totally normal. So what we're going to do today is really get clear on our job. And that job is to think beyond our own lives, to turn our thoughts in service to others, but also to find that stability from which we can serve at this point. COVID-19 is going to do whatever it's going to do, and that's kind of the truth that we all know. And we're going to do whatever we can do to stop it on the three-dimensional perspective. We're going to donate our extra dollars and continue to earn those dollars. We're not going to stop with our goals and dreams. We're not going to give up on our businesses if you have a business, so that we have something to give. We're going to take care of our families. We're going to think beyond our families and really bring love to the lonely during this time, food to anybody who needs it, and really, really remember our unique contributions that raise the vibration of the planet. So right now what we need is the musicians to be playing music, the writers to be writing, doctors doctoring, healers healing, creatives creating, lovers loving, right? So this is the work that we have set out for us. And together, we can really send this virus back to the nothingness through which it came as we continue to raise the vibration of the planet. But our fear is not a contribution to that, right? And I just want to let Douglas know. Douglas, it's totally okay. I can't hear anybody. You guys can hear me, and the way that you participate is just by making comments. Cool? So you're all good. Okay, I'm so glad you're here, Douglas. Okay, so it's my experience with fear that fear is a doorway to power and freedom, but you actually have to walk through the doorway to get there. And most people don't walk through the doorway. We stand in front of it and we get really freaked out about it, right? And that's happening with a lot of us now. But today we're actually going to walk through the doorway of fear through the work that we're going to do together over the next, 40 minutes or so. So fear comes from attachment. Fear comes from attachment. And this virus is revealing to us our attachments. And it's revealing to us our suppressed emotions and our unmade decisions. Does that make sense to everybody? Are you noticing your attachments to the external world, to assurance that everything is going to be okay? Are you noticing suppressed emotions coming up? Any unmade decisions? Tell me what you're noticing. And what we're going to have to do together is build the muscle of faith. So that's our work, is to build the muscle of faith. And the faith is not that everything is going to be okay, but the faith that we are going to be okay despite everything. Does that make sense? So the muscle of faith is not that everything is going to be okay. It's that we're going to be okay despite everything. And what okayness means to you might need to expand. Okay, so whatever the concept of okayness is to you might need to expand today. And that might be part of your deep work. So as we're doing this, you might start to notice, oh, that's where I'm getting stuck, or this is where I'm getting stuck. And once again, if you're new to my work, I'm going to be dropping a lot of concepts in the next 45 minutes or so. So you just ask me any questions that you have in the comments, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Yes, the virus has me in all those suppressed emotions. Yes, so it's bringing up our suppressed emotions. Yes, okay, worried about my son and granddaughter in New York City, my financial stuff, my business. Yes, Melinda, I bet so many people are with you. And Joy, am I saying your name right, Joy? I love that. We will be okay no matter what happens. Okay, Nat, an unmade decision is just a decision that you know is there for you, is up for you, but you haven't fully stepped into what the decision is yet. So you know that you haven't made the choice that you need to make, so you're just sitting in the indecisive stage. Maya, big fear is staying sober in early recovery. Congratulations on sobriety. That's incredible. I'm sure you've seen all the Zoom meetings. Okay, so we're going to get to all your unique fears in just a moment. Okay, Eve gets the unmade decisions. Yep, putting me in a place where fears that I already had are a gazillion fold and is almost paralyzing me. Yes, so this is magnifying our fears. It's magnifying it. Why? Because we have to just sit at home now. And before we could have all this activity all day long where we were just running around and able to suppress it. Maybe some of us were drinking. Maybe some of us were just staying really busy. But whatever the case is, it's coming up for us now because we're having to face ourselves at home. Okay? So I just want to talk for a minute about the 3 levels of fear. So there are 3 levels of fear that, and we all share these levels. The first level is core fears. The core fears are fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, and fear of death. Most people share those 3 core fears: abandonment, rejection, and death. Then emanating out of those are general fears. General fears are things like fear of loss, fear of being unlovable, fear of losing control, which many of us are having right now, fear of what other people think of us. Okay, so those are general and they emanate from the core fears. The third level of fear are circumstantial fears, and those are specific fears to your lives, and those emanate from the general fears. Circumstantial fears are whatever's happening in your life. So if you are afraid that your specific business is going to fail, if you're afraid that your specific child or parent is going to get sick or grandparent is going to get sick, those are circumstantial fears. And those are the ones that we want to work with today when we do this exercise. There's fears that are specific to your life, okay? And we're going to walk through those and get to the other side of them. What most people do is that they just try to talk about and understand their fears as if that's like actually going to get us to the other side of it. But we know that just talking about our fears doesn't do it. Making a list of our fears doesn't get us to the other side of it. We need to actually move through them with pointed questions. So I'm going to ask you some questions today. If you don't have pen and paper, definitely grab pen and paper, and we're going to go through a writing exercise. The actual writing is really, really, really important to this. The writing itself clears the energy. Getting your thoughts down on paper, it takes them out of your head and puts them down on paper so you can begin to inspect them, okay? So pen and paper are going to be really important to examining these circumstantial fears in your life. And you're going to pick one circumstantial fear today, but you can keep using this exercise until the end of time. Like, this is yours now. This is the same thing I teach to all of my private clients. It's the same thing that I taught at the Harvard workshop. This exercise is the same one that I still use to this day whenever I have a fear. So whatever, going back to the fears, whatever fears you have around coronavirus are the fears you already had on steroids. So what coronavirus is doing is it's giving you a chance to walk through your latent fears. It's giving you, so when fears, I believe fear is a good thing, because when we walk through them, there's freedom on the other side of it. It's when we suppress our fears and pretend like we don't have them that we get stuck in our lives and we don't make moves we need to make and we don't feel freedom. But coronavirus is bringing them out, and so that they're like, hey, you got to work with me now or you're going to be in great suffering. Okay, so pen and paper. Let me know if you have pen and paper. Just give me like a comment. Be like, I got mine. Hi, Megan. I see you. Where are you coming in from? Okay. So I just want to speak to, if anybody's here is so racked with anxiety that you just can't even calm down. My story is I had massive anxiety years ago. I had my own. It wasn't coronavirus that triggered my fear to the point of no return. It was another experience in my life, and that helped me learn how to walk through fears and be free. Okay. So this is why I'm so passionate about you being able to do this work, because it's really, there's freedom on the other side. I get it if you're like so freaking freaked out right now that you can't even like function, or you're pacing back and forth. That's okay. You pace back and forth while we do this talk or while we do this exercise, and you write down when you can. Okay. You write down what you can, and you can listen to this later and come back to it again and again and just do the best you can. Doing this work will probably calm you down about 40% if you can hang in with it, okay? And that's enough to function. So what I want you to do, I see you all have pen and paper, and Maya, just to recap on the circumstantial fears. Circumstantial fears are fears that are specific to your life. And I'll be helping you through this in a minute. As you all share your fears with me. So circumstantial fears will focus on, I'm afraid my parents are going to get coronavirus and die, or whatever the fear is, or I'm afraid that my business is going to fail. I'm afraid that my money is going to disappear from the stock market, right? Whatever it is, you're going to keep it focused on your life rather than a general experience, or rather than just saying, I'm afraid of death, because those things are too abstract for us to deal with. So we need to deal with the specifics, okay? Okay, so Walker, I hear you. Your biggest fear is being magnified, and that is losing your parents or your siblings. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and I want everyone to share your fears, and that will help me help you throughout this exercise. So in the comment section, I want you to share with me a circumstantial fear, and I don't want you to worry about getting it right or wrong. Like, is this a circumstantial fear or isn't it? I'll tell you if it's not. I just want you to go ahead and share it here, okay? And I'll help you through it. And that will help me also give you feedback as we move along. So share with me in the comments a circumstantial fear. Okay, Walker. So your biggest fear is that that your parents or your sibling, that you'll lose them. Isabel, your fear is that your parents dying. Walker, when you write it down, I want you to write it down in the way that makes your heart get go. So if it's as direct as, I'm afraid my parents are going to die from coronavirus, I want you to write that down that directly. Okay, looks like a lot of fear that parents and grandparents will get sick and die. Okay, so Jess, so you're going to write down fear. So now as I go through these and give you all feedback, I'm going to have you start writing them down at the top of the blank sheet of paper. Fear dash, my parents are going to die. And you want to write it the way you think it. It's really important to get this part right. Don't write fear dash parent death. That's not specific enough. I want you to write it exactly the way you think it. So Isabel, fear my parents are going to die, or however you think that. Joy, this is good for you. That's great that you're feeling calm. Do you have any fear? Okay, Jess, so you're going to say my parents getting sick and die. Wanda, I'm afraid that I will spread the virus to clients and or my family. Okay, so Wanda, write that down. Fear. I will spread the virus to my clients or my family. If that's exactly how you think it, write it down how you think it. Complete sentence. Nat, I'm afraid my parents are going to die. Write that down. That's your fear. Stephen, I'm afraid my job will go away and I won't have the motivation to find something else. So I feel like there's a way to say this more directly, Stephen. I'm afraid, is there a way that you need to state it more directly? Like, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my job. Like, I feel like there's a little bit of writing happening here rather than saying the way you think it. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job and I'll be too depressed to find another one. Is it like that? Say it more directly. And this is really an important part of the exercise, is to get the fear right. Melinda, I'm fearful that my son and granddaughter in New York City getting the virus and dying. Okay, so Melinda, write fear. And then how do you think it? Because you probably don't think I'm fearful. Do you think it, is that how the thought goes? I'm fearful about my son? Or are you like, I'm afraid my son and granddaughter are going to die of this? Okay, Anna, I'm going to die. So is it like, I'm going to die sick, poor, and alone? Rachel, my fear is that I won't be creative enough to make money and to live the lifestyle I want during this pandemic. Okay, how do you think it? I'm going to be broke, etc. Walker, that's okay. You let those feelings out. Let yourself cry a lot. Guys, I'm going to give you a tip on anxiety right now. A lot of times what's behind anxiety is grief suppression. So if you're having sorrow and grief come up right now or whenever, let yourself cry. Let yourself grieve. We're in a period of uncertainty. And this is a lot of us haven't prepared our minds to face periods of uncertainty. So let yourself feel that grief. Let yourself feel that grief. And we don't know what's going to happen. Maya, I'm the only one in the family left with a job. Pressure from, okay, so how would you state this fear? Or is the fear, Maya, the one about sobriety, not staying sober? Which one is it? Okay, Megan Mateer, I want you to say it a little bit more directly. Instead of I'm afraid of losing my business, I'm afraid my business isn't going to have the clients coming in it needs to survive, or however you think it, that's more like pinpointed. Like, I'm afraid of losing my business, does that make your heart hurt? Like, we want it so it makes your heart go, ugh, okay? That I won't figure out how to settle on a plan for my mental health. Are you choosing a plan? Okay, Douglas, people I know will become sick and die. Is it people you love? Is that what it is? My loved ones will become sick and die. Who are you afraid is going to die? Okay, Carrie. And I want you to just choose one fear. We're just going to choose one fear to work with right now. Carrie, I'm moving countries in September. Won't be able to have enough. Okay, my plans will have to change. I won't be able to, say it more directly. I won't be able to do such and such. I won't have enough money to go to such and such. I won't be able to fulfill my dream. Okay. Wendy, I fear giving. Okay, Wendy, so you write, I'm afraid of getting sick and passing it on to my old in-laws. And then what? Are you afraid of them dying? Okay, Casey. Fear of losing money in that industry will take a time. Okay, so I'm afraid I'm going to be broke. I'm afraid. How are you thinking it? How are you thinking the fear? So guys, when you do the fear, I want you to write it how you think it, that directly, and then write it down on the page. Alex, I'm not using this time at home to do the work I actually want to do. Okay, fear. I'm wasting the time. I'm wasting time at home. I'm not doing what I want to do. Okay, Joy. I'm afraid of not going to be able to function if I get afraid. So are you suppressing the fear, Joy? So I'm afraid of being afraid? Okay, Carrie, I won't be able to move home. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Carrie. I feel like I can't. No. I feel like I can't get my fear right or simple enough. No, this is more of the confusion thing you do, my friend, and you're not confused. You're not confused. Just choose a simple fear and write it out. I'm not confused. And you're not confused. Okay, Melinda, just write, I'm afraid that they will die. I'm afraid I won't get to see them again. Oh, that's good. I'm afraid I won't get to see them again. Fear, I will stay broke and living. Yes, I will stay broke and living paycheck to paycheck. Is it, Rachel, is it that that this is really going to get you in that, stuck in that place? Like you're never going to break out of the cycle? Like you're now further stuck? Is that what it is? Okay, Elizabeth. That at this time I'm being called out to be visible, and if I put myself out there, it will make other people angry or resentful. Okay, I'm going to piss people off when I become more visible, when I tell the truth. Kelly, that even with having all this time available now, that I'm still going to waste it. Okay, Kelly, so just say, I'm going to waste this time. I'm not going to make the best use of this time. I'm going to waste this time again. I'm going to go back into my old patterns, whatever it is. Maya, staying sober under pressure to keep it together. Okay, so Maya, here's what you're going to write down. Fear, I'm going to drink again under these circumstances. I won't be able to support my family. I'm going to drink again. I won't be able to support my family. Write that under it. Okay, great, Wendy, write that down. I'm afraid we're all going to die. Okay, no, you're good. Okay, I see this. I'm afraid I'll never be able to do Cassie's fear work because I can't name her. Your fear is simple. I know it's you. You're not confused. You know how I tell you this? You're not confused. Just write down a simple fear. I won't be able to get my mental health in order for during coronavirus. You're not confused. That's right. Yeah, I'm afraid I'll be stuck in this cycle forever. Absolutely, that works. Okay, I'm afraid my mom will die from the virus. Yes, write that down. Okay, so guys, this is really good work. Do you see how similar so many of our fears are? Stephen, yes, that's perfect. I'm afraid I'm so depressed I'll waste this time. So if you want to do that or the one about your job, but choose one fear. Caroline, I won't be able to get my finances in order to make a planned move. Okay, because of coronavirus, like my finances are now fucked and I won't be able to make a planned move? Is that what's your head saying? Like we have to get it in the fear part. So the first thing we got to do is write down your fear in the most simple way that touches your heart, where you're like, that is my freaking fear. Okay, Caroline, that's it. Write that down. Okay, great work, everybody. Great work. So here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and write down your fear at the top of the page, remembering to write it in a complete sentence or the way that you think it. So it's not literary. Then what I want you to do is write down the fear beneath that. Then what's going to happen? Then what's going to happen? Then what's going to happen? So I'll use Jackie's as an example because so many people are having this similar fear. I'm afraid my mom will die from the virus, and then I won't be able to handle it, and then I'm going to have to go through this horrible experience, and then I'll never get over it, and then my life will be changed forever, and then I'll be in such great pain that I won't be able to care for my children, and then I'll be in such great pain I won't be able to continue to make money. This will ruin my life forever, or wherever your head goes. So take it all the way to the bottom, and just write that down. Pen and paper, write it down. And if you're feeling emotions come up, just let them come. It's okay to cry. Okay, now what we do is we ask 6 questions. And you can write the questions down, but I'm going to add the questions to the comment section after we're done with the live today. Okay, so you'll still have them forever after we're done. Okay, so the first question is, how am I being dishonest? So all fear is based on a lie. All fear is based on a lie because fear is not real. Fear is just a thought. It's actually not even a thought. A Course in Miracles says that when we're thinking with fear, we're not really thinking at all. When we're thinking with fear, we're not really thinking at all. And that's not that we should make ourselves wrong for thinking fears. It's just that fear isn't real because it's based on a lie. So we ask ourselves this question, how am I being dishonest? And another way to say that is, what am I not seeing? So what I want you to do is just take a minute with that question and just see if anything naturally comes to you. Any answer naturally comes to you for that question. And if nothing does, that's okay, because I'm going to give you tons of examples of how we are dishonest or how there's stuff that we're not seeing. So just take a minute to ask that question. How am I being dishonest with this fear, in regard to this fear? And that word dishonest can trigger some people, but it's okay. It's just a part of how the human mind functions, is that we don't see everything. So you're writing down any ways that you're being dishonest or anything that you're not seeing about this situation. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples, and I want you all to ask me any questions that you have, because some of these concepts might be like, whoa, I didn't even think about that. Walker, it's just how you're being dishonest about the fear, what you're not seeing. So you've brought the fear all the way down. So probably it was something like, if my parents die, I won't be able to handle it. I'll be so depressed. I won't be able to make anything, whatever happens next. So maybe tell me a little bit more about what you came up with beneath the fear, beneath the initial fear. So how did you bring it down? So Maya, I'll drink again. I'll lose my job. My family will abandon me. I'm being dishonest and believing that I'll never be able to quit, when the truth is I can if I do the work and develop the faith and skills necessary. That's right, Maya. So the way that Maya was being dishonest with this fear of I'm going to drink again is that it's actually in Maya's hands whether she drinks again, because she has the resources to stay sober. It's a matter of being willing to use them. So the lie is, it's just, I don't know if I can handle it. And this is something where my mind goes to, I don't know, right? And so, but you actually do have the tool. So right on, Maya, you got that perfectly. Walker, the second fear, I'm afraid that I will stop living. Okay, similar to Maya, Walker, you have the total shutdown, crawl in a hole, maybe not come out of fear. Okay, so Walker, similar to Maya, the way you're being dishonest or what you're not seeing, and the original fear with Walker was that her parents are going to die. So the fear there, or the dishonesty there, is that you don't have control over it, that you wouldn't be able to reach out for resources and support. If this happens, so one of the core fears, one of the primary forms of dishonesty is I won't be able to handle it. I won't be able to handle this thing if it happens. You actually will. You're going to have to, regardless of what happens with coronavirus, you are going to have to grow. You're going to have to grow. This is forcing us all to grow. So it's whether you have a business or whether you're afraid your parents are going to die, or whether something actually does happen. And chances are we are going to experience some loss. We don't know what it's going to be, but you are going to develop the inner resources to walk through these experiences by surrendering to what is, right? And you're going, if you have a business, maybe it's time to do some deeper work on how to keep that business afloat. Maybe it's time to think outside the box. So the dishonesty is that you have to stick with whatever you've been doing. Maybe it's time for your business to adapt, right? And you're going to do that adaptation by meditation, by prayer, by asking, reaching out for support, maybe hiring a business coach. There's a lot of actions that you can take. So the lie is, I can't handle this, right? Isabel, with your being scared your parents are going to die. Yeah. So, well, you know that you're going to be okay. So I think that, let me just go through some of the lies that we tell ourselves so that everybody is served here. And Melinda, I'll get to you in a minute. Okay, so one is that this is an either or situation. So I want you to start thinking of things in the both and context. So when we're in fear, we often just go to, this is going to happen and then this, right? So maybe, if our parents die, the fear is that we're going to go into complete depression, shut down, etc. The truth is we're going to go through deep and profound grief, of which I haven't been through this experience, but of which I cannot even imagine at this point based on what my friends are telling me. And I am going to honor their lives by living out and being of service as best I can. Okay, so it's a both and. I'm going to go through profound grief, and I'm going to honor their lives by being of service the best I can. The next thing we often say is, I need to wait for the fear to go away before I take action. So for example, if you have a business or if you have any financial... Are we here? Did I just lose connection? Hi guys. We here? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we don't know why this is happening on a deeper level. But what we want to do is be present to why this is part of our human experience right now. Okay, so your job is to meditate and really ask, why is this happening? What is going on right now? And to really listen to your answer, because we are going to have to really think about why this is happening and start to make some meaning of this virus. Okay, thanks guys. Yes, I'm back. I love it. Okay. So let's see. So part of the lie is this shouldn't be happening, and perhaps there's some greater meaning, and it's our job to really meditate and find out what that greater meaning is for all of humanity, not just for our personal lives, but for all of humanity. Okay. Another lie we tell ourselves is, it's possible for me to get enough external validation to feel okay. So if you're afraid of something that's uncertain, what we tend to do is we seek for validation, whether it's like checking the news all the time to get the latest information about how afraid we should really be, or checking our business numbers over and over and over again. Whatever it is, we don't want to do any of that from a place of fear. And the truth is that we can never get enough external validation. You will have to start within. And that is why I strongly recommend not checking the news, but once a day. You don't need to be on the cutting edge of the information. And if there's anyone on your news feed that keeps posting scary stuff, just mute them. Even if you love them, just mute them during coronavirus. Let's see if there's any other things here. Okay, I'm going to go through some of your fears, and I want you, as I'm going through these for other people, to ask me if you have not come up with your dishonesty or what you're not seeing, because it's really important to make this fear into a lie. Isabel, I think perhaps part of your dishonesty is that like resisting this is going to make it go away. Like emotionally resisting this happening is going to make it go away. Does that resonate? Okay. So maybe my lie is I'm pretending I can't surrender. Yeah, I like that lie of I just can't surrender. You can surrender, and all of us must surrender right now. We must surrender, and we must take constructive action in our lives. First of all, to develop that internal fortitude, and then to change anything. So, if you're worried about your parents getting sick, don't visit them. If you're worried about making somebody else sick, don't visit them. Dishonest. Okay, Kassi. That my financial state is out of my control. There are plenty of creative things I can do in the meantime to generate income or improve the infrastructure of my business. Need to lose the victim mentality. Bingo! All business owners, this is a great time, truly, for us to be innovating and to be serving. Because people are talking about what they need, and they're all on the internet saying what they need right now. So it's a great time to serve. Okay, what else? What if I don't believe that I would adapt and I feel like it would just be too much? You are choosing to believe that, Walker, and I want you to choose to believe that you can adapt. Here's the thing about beliefs, and we're going to get into this in a minute, but whatever we believe, so our whole world of beliefs first of all, it creates our thoughts. So what we feel comes from what we think. So you can change the way you feel by changing the way you think. But also what we do comes from what we think. So if we believe I'm not going to be okay, all of our action occurs inside the context of I'm not going to be okay. So we will maybe lie in bed all day, check the news, check on our parents a million times a day, looking for that validation that, okay, they've made it through the next hour. Oh my God, was that a cough? Oh, that was a cough. Oh my God, it's maybe a corona cough. Whatever it is, we're going to start seeking that validation, living inside the world of I'm not going to be okay if they die. But if you live inside the world of, I'm going to be of service, I'm going to allow myself to go through this great human pain. I mean, the loss of a parent is obviously one of the great turning points in life. But I'm going to stop resisting this great inevitable turning point in my life whenever it happens to occur, whether now or sometime later in the future. I'm going to stop resisting that and choose to both go through the grief and to be of service and to honor their lives. So if you live in that way, your actions will come out of that place, right? I'm going to tell you something else. Well, let me make sure did you get that? Let me know if you have any questions about how your actions create beliefs. You guys are good on these dishonesties. So you will live inside the context. So you can choose. I can believe I'm never going to make it, and all my actions will come through that place. Or I can believe I'm going to rock this. This is going to be painful, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to walk through this with faith, and I'm going to walk through this in service. And then all my actions will come out of that place. And I'll start thinking more creatively. Remember, if you're thinking with fear, you're not really thinking at all. If you're thinking with love, then you're going to start thinking creatively, and then you'll live from that place. Okay. Yes, I'm seeing all this. Okay, now, folks, as you start thinking about your beliefs, and we're going to get into this in a minute, I'm going to have you really think about your beliefs, not just in surviving through this and whatever happens, but in thriving through this, whatever happens. So it's not just about, I'm going to make it, I'm going to keep my business afloat. It's like, I'm actually going to transform my life. I'm going to transform my business. I'm going to take full control over my finances. I've been avoiding this for my whole life, and now I'm going to do this work. I'm finally going to do this work. I'm going to fully surrender when in the past I've always controlled everything. Wanda is not only going to get through this, she is going to rock this. Okay, so here's the next question that you're going to answer. The next question is, okay, Walker, I just want to speak to Walker's fear. I feel like if I tell myself that I will be of service and be okay, that I'm being dishonest to myself too. Got to work through that on that thought pattern. Yes, the truth is you will be okay, but you're going to have to prove it to yourself. So the reason that you're thinking I'm not going to be okay is, and we're going to get into this in a minute, what happens when we're afraid and we take actions based on fear is that we lower our self-esteem. So when we take action based on fear, we lower our self-esteem with each action we take. So if I'm calling my parents, if I'm calling my parents with a motive to give myself assurance that they're okay for today, that is an action based on fear. And that will lower my self-esteem. If I'm calling my parents out of service to them, that will raise my self-esteem. Does this make sense? But if I do it from a motivation of, I got to make sure that I'm okay, right? I got to make sure I'm okay, so I'm going to check on them. That's going to lower my self-esteem. When you start taking actions based on love and contribution, you will raise your self-esteem and you will trust yourself to walk through life with peace and ease, regardless of what's happening. And when I say peace and ease, I don't mean without emotional strife. Peace and ease means that I allow myself to grieve. It means I allow myself to feel afraid, but I also know I have the tools to walk through it. So here's the second question. We've got a few more questions to get through to walk you all the way through this, and then I'm going to guide you through a meditation. Let's see how we're doing on time. Okay, so the second question is, yes. Okay, so the second question you want to answer is, how do I try to stop what I fear from happening or to numb the fear? How do I try to stop what I fear from happening or to numb the fear? I'm going to give you some examples, but you probably know what you do. So take a minute and just write down whatever you think you do. So if you're calling people repeatedly to check on them out of fear, write that down. if you're getting totally paralyzed and not taking action in your business, if you're thinking with blinders on, oh, if my business doesn't work this way, it's not going to work anyway, that's one of the things you do. If I'm calling people and telling people, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, have you done this, have you washed your hands today, etc. Kassi, yes, melt my brain with social media and distract myself. Yeah. Write that down, my sister. You are not alone. Okay, some examples of the ways that we try to stop the fear from happening or numb the fear include trying to control the outcome. I'm going to add Melinda's not staying on task, over preparing, okay, Walker said, I'm packing up my house and moving to the family farm so that I can be closer to my folks in case they need my help. So the question you want to ask yourself is that an action based on fear? Is that an action based on fear? Because what the truth is, we want to get into the moment. Nothing's actually happening right now. Nothing bad is happening right now. Joy is playing Farm Heroes computer game to numb the fear. Okay, so some other things we do is try to prevent pain. Try to prevent bad things from happening. Try to fix the situation. I love how specific y'all are being, though, with what you're doing. Keep them coming if you have more specific things that you do. Share, because other people will relate to them. Delay handling it. So some people kind of tune out that this is happening and aren't actually prepared, right? But I really want you to ask yourself, are you calling people, are you, especially those who are afraid of losing others, are you calling them from a place of fear or a place of contribution? Are you basically harassing them with what they're doing to prevent coronavirus, or are you letting them, go through, are you trusting them to know what they need to do? If we take action based on fear, we lower our self-esteem and we increase our fear. That's the paradox. So some of us freeze. Are you processing your feelings over and over again? Are you checking on people or checking on things? Having conversations with ulterior motives, which means I'm acting like I'm calling about this thing. So y'all are going to have to be so honest with yourself because the deep inside, you'll know if you have a motive that's based on fear. So you're going to have to be so honest with yourself. If you're like, you get off this session with me and you're like, okay, cool. So I'm only going to call my parents when I'm really there to contribute and I'm not in fear. But then you're like, maybe I'll just call them to ask them this question about such and such, but really I have a secret motive to make myself feel better right now. So if you're trying to make yourself feel better, that's a motive based on fear. You must seek that from within through a meditation practice, prayer practice, even if you don't believe in God. You don't have to believe in God to pray. And through doing this work, you can do this exercise on any fears that you have. It's 6 questions that you're going to be answering. Okay, so beat myself up for what I'm doing. That's a good one, Joy. Kelly, I overwhelm myself with things I need to get done, and then somehow manage to find a new show on Netflix, binge it, and then it won't show me the rest of your comment. But, and waste a whole day. Okay, yep, good one. Really good one. I'm sure most people relate to that. Okay, so let's see. Are you fantasizing about bad things happening? Are you fantasizing about bad things happening? Are you drinking, eating, checking Instagram, shooting heroin, being overly positive? Everything's going to be great. Okay, and Joy says, always check your motives when something doesn't feel right. Yep. But always check your motives, you know? Okay, Stephen, chatting with people online. Yes. Okay, folks. So really, really good work with what you're doing to try to stop the fear from happening or numb the feeling. The next question, so this is the third question to ask yourself. What exactly do you imagine happening in the worst case scenario? And I just want you to bullet point this. Don't write a story out, just bullet point what you imagine happening in the worst case scenario. Yeah, Wanda and Maya, totally. See ya. So you're writing down what you imagine happening in the worst case scenario. And really be direct here. Okay. Robin, yes, it's this. Yes, that I want you to get I have no idea out of your vocabulary. Anything that insinuates that you're confused because you're not confused. Yes, you got it absolutely right. The same original fear that you'll just be stuck in the cycle forever. Absolutely. You always know. Okay, Walker, really good work. And I want you to write that down on paper. So y'all, I love that you're sharing in the comments. Please keep doing that and make sure that you're bullet pointing this on paper, because a big piece of the work is actually writing it down on paper with a pen. That is part of the energy clearing. So I want you to take your worst case scenario a little. So with Wanda said, worst case scenario, my family and clients will die. I want you to write what else? Like, what do you picture in your head with that? You're going to, a bunch of funerals. Afterward, you come home, write down what you're picturing. Yes. I'm reading everyone's worst case scenarios, and they look good. Yep. Jess, good work. Yep, that's it. Jackie, Joy, Isabel, Walker, everyone's worst case scenario looks really good. Okay. Yep. Okay, so now what I want you to do is to write down how you would handle the worst case scenario as your most courageous self. Your most courageous self. Casey, this looks good. This looks good. Maya, Stephen, these look good. Now write down how you will handle the worst case scenario as your most courageous self. And really get into that feeling. Like, what would it feel like to be your most courageous self? If you were if you were being totally of service, your most courageous self would feed people. Yes, Walker. So you would use this opportunity to use your gifts to serve. To serve. Okay, Isabel, I want you to take this further into how you would use this opportunity to serve. And it might be that you allow yourself to go through the deep pain of grief. And Isabel, what I know about you is that you are a light to other people. And there is nothing more there's nothing more credible than someone who has a light and has gone through pain. So you would continue to share your light with others, Isabel. You would continue to share your work with others. Joy, I want you to take that even further. So you would share what you're feeling with others, and what else would you share with others? What would your contribution be? Maya would grow food. Look at all these people growing food. Set up community systems and self-sufficient living outside of dog-eat capitalism. Connect with neighbors. I will feel grief, Wanda, I will feel the grief, comfort those around me, and make me stronger. Yes. And Wanda, after all is said and done, you would continue to do Reiki and heal. Isabel, your answer was perfect where it was. I'm just taking it to, like, can we move it like a little bit, can we move the needle a little bit further? Okay. So your answer is perfect. You start with exactly where you are, and then you can kind of like build out from there. So at first it might just be like, okay, I'm just not going to kill myself. Like that could be the first part of of how I'd handle the worst case scenario with courage, is just like, I would just not kill myself. And then the next bullet point might be like, I would get out of bed. And the next bullet point might be, okay, I would go feed my children. Next bullet point might be, okay, I would let myself grieve a little bit. And moving on from there. So you don't have to start out in service, but I am going to help you move from wherever you are to a place where your mind is moving into service. Casey, take action. Yeah, get creative. Hells yeah. Okay, really good. Robin, I think you would make a decision. For some reason, that is what came to me. You would make a decision. You would choose to make a decision. I would choose to make a choice. I would make a plan, follow through, and be kind to myself when I fail to meet my own expectations. And I think, Stephen, that you would also be truthful to yourself about what you're here to do on the planet and what you're here to give and your great gifts. It would no longer be about meeting your expectations, your own expectations. It would be about you just being of service with your presence. Really owning how incredible you are, Stephen. Okay, I'm just going up here to see if there's anything else. Okay, really good work. Really good work. Okay, guys. Okay, so that's how you would handle the worst case scenario with courage and as your most courageous self. Now what I want you to do is talk about what is the best case scenario in this situation with your fear. Write down what is the best case scenario. Melinda, that is freaking gorgeous. Melinda's I want you to keep writing the best case scenario, but Melinda's most courageous self, if her son and granddaughter would die and wouldn't be able to say goodbye to them, she would hold online celebrations of their lives, dedicate all her work going forward to their bright spirits, continue working online and helping people with coaching, wellness, and fitness classes and spiritual work. Gorgeous. Walker, that is great. Yep. Coronavirus magically goes away. I mean, honestly, I believe in miracles, and we're going to get into the meditation in a minute, and we're really going to get into the vibration of coronavirus disappearing from the face of the earth. You know, another best case scenario would be, okay, well, if they do get sick, then they get better. I just saw that the oldest person, they were, I think, in their 80s or 90s, just recovered. I think in their 90s recovered from coronavirus. Joy, start praying and sharing my spiritual beliefs with others. Yes, we're at a tipping point now where it's time for us to come out of the spiritual closet and to start sharing our truth. Okay, really, really good. So continue writing the best case scenario. Walker, I'm with you that we can stay self-isolated and curb it and we don't need a vaccine. Best case, that I'm free to really step into my own light, making a huge contribution and loving every moment of my life. Yes. So y'all, whatever you're afraid of is not happening right now. And that's part of the lie that we tell ourselves is, oh, it's happening if I think it's happening. The truth is whatever's happening right now in the present moment is what's happening. So you can live from that place, right? I become more present. Wanda says, I become more present and be of service to others and grow from this. Yes. Joy, that it wouldn't happen. I would be a strong, capable person. You will be a strong, capable person regardless of what happens. Okay. Maya, I never drink again. I become a leader in bringing people into the fold of sustainable community and healing systems. Yes. And guess what? You can do that regardless. You will do that regardless, Maya. Melinda, we're on a different timeline. It's love time. It's soul time. Yes, we are. Isabel, best case, my parents die when they are in their 90s and living a full life with my kids and I. Yes, I love that beautiful image. Okay. Okay, y'all. That feels so good. Doesn't that feel good? Okay, Stephen, I'm able to let go of my anxiety and participate in the world. Or, Stephen, how about this? That even with your anxiety, you participate in the world because you're being present and showing up with anxiety gives so much strength and courage to others. So many people are living with anxiety, and you have so many gifts, Stephen, as a writer, as a human. Your presence is such a gift, and that you are able to share from that place regardless. So you don't even have to wait for your anxiety to go away to share with others who you are and your story. You've accomplished so many things in your life with anxiety. It's incredible. Joy, I continue to feel strong and calm and lift the world up in faith in mankind. Yes. Yes, these are beautiful. Okay. And Stephen, yes, you can also totally 100% recover from your anxiety. Okay. Robin, I keep reaching out to others and moving forward with what I commit to. Yes, I grow and am and give regardless and receive and surrender. Yes. Don't these feel so good? Okay, now what I want you to do is write down relative to this fear that you've been living with and based on what we've now discovered as possible in the best case scenario, and that you can actually walk through your fear with peace. You can walk through your fear with a contribution. That relative to this fear, what new beliefs about yourself, your life, and life in general would you like to create? Kelly, I take this time to finally start my business and I don't have to go back to all my bartending jobs when all this is over. Yes, Kelly, it's time. This is clearly a calling for you to start your business. I mean, yeah. Okay, so you're writing down your new beliefs about yourself, your life, and life in general that you would like to create. Okay, so then the next question is, relative to this fear, what new beliefs about yourself, your life, and life in general would you like to create? And you want these beliefs to feel good when you think of them. You want to think of that belief and like, oh, okay, that's right. Like I'm allowed to like have anxiety and have a major contribution right now. Wanda, I move forward ready to be a light and reach those in need of healing and support. Yes. Joy, I can say no and stop pleasing others. Become fully aware of what is good for me. Yes. And I'm going to give you some. Oh, Walker, let's see. In this crisis, I don't do what I usually do in crisis. I don't want that. Okay, Walker, I want you to change your new belief to something you do. So what are you going to do? Stephen, being authentic in the world is worthwhile. Yeah. Actually, can I even like raise you one on that, Stephen? And like, the world needs me being authentic right now, Stephen. So like for you, I want you to write down, the world needs my authenticity right now. Elizabeth, my words and my work bring people healing and joy. Yeah, amen. I'm going to add some beliefs. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid. I can take actions while I'm afraid. It's okay for people to see me afraid. I'm brave enough to be bad at something in public. It's okay to grieve. I can handle grief. I can handle a bumpy ride. I seek my self-esteem from God or the universe through prayer and meditation and courageous actions. I have every reason to trust myself. Yeah, Joy, I love that book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Casey, I'm not a victim, I am strong. So I want you to take I'm not a victim out, because we don't want to say what we're not. We want the beliefs to just be what we are. I am strong, capable, and in control of my own future. Yes. I'm going to tell you guys, there's two metaphysical concepts that are coming to me to talk to you about right now. One is money. So money responds to energy. Money doesn't know about the economy. Money doesn't know about coronavirus. It only knows about your energy, and your energy tells money what you're available for. So it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. Money responds to you and your energy. So your work is to get your energy in alignment. You can let me know if you have questions about that later. And then the other thing I think that would benefit some of us is to change our concept of death. And I know that for me, what really changed that concept was being a student of A Course in Miracles. And that really shifted my concept so that it became that the body is a suit of clothes. The body is a suit of clothes, and that there is no such thing as death. And I know that for many of us that might be like, what? I don't think so, Cassie. What the fuck are you talking about? But for me, it became like a deeply held belief. It doesn't mean that we don't have grief when we lose someone's physical form. We have profound grief, but that there is no loss. There's never any real loss. And I'm happy to talk to anybody about A Course in Miracles if that's if it would be of value to you. Okay. Yeah, I love this. Melinda, beautiful. Robin, beautiful. Jackie, yes. Maya, yes. Hell yeah. Kelly, yep. Okay, guys, I think you got it. So now what I want you to do is take like a hot minute to write down your action plan. And your action plan might be and then I'm going to guide you through a brief meditation to seal this off. And that's the meditation's where the magic happens. So you haven't completed the process until you've done the meditation. So action plan might be to remind yourself of how you would handle the worst case scenario. Remind yourself of how you would handle the worst case scenario. You can write this down in the notes section of your phone and always remind yourself. So remind yourself of how you'd handle the worst case scenario. Allow what you fear to occur emotionally. Allow it to occur without resisting it, because a lot of the fear comes from that can't happen, right? When we say that can't happen, or I just won't be able to handle it, that actually creates more fear, and then we start taking actions based on fear, which lowers our self-esteem, and then we don't trust ourselves to be able to walk through the fear when it does happen, or if it does happen. So emotionally allow it to happen, and don't take actions based on fear. Take actions based on faith. And sometimes for some of us, that means that we might need to really pause on taking many actions and really assess every action that we're taking. Okay? So quit doing whatever it is you do to try to stop the fear. Take the scary action you've been avoiding. I'm talking to you, Kelly. Take the scary action you've been avoiding. Trust yourself and act accordingly. Know that you can handle whatever happens. It might be so hard. You might be laid out in bed for a while, but you will one day get up and keep contributing. Nothing in your life will happen in vain. Your purpose is to be of service. So write down that action plan. And then I'm going to have you get comfortable for a guided meditation. Now, when I think about guided meditation, when I think about meditation, my thought on meditation is that we're asked often to just have these willy-nilly meditations where we just focus on our breath for 20 minutes. And those are great in the morning, fine. But to really start to transform our lives, we actually need a formal thought process, or a formal process to start to shift what our minds are thinking. Otherwise, we're quite likely going to be meditating on our problems for 20 minutes. So what I'm going to suggest for this is the Expand Beyond Fear meditation. What I'm going to suggest is that you keep your paper out, and I will tell you at times to open your eyes and reread what you wrote, just to start to bring these new thoughts into your mind and start to imprint your mind with these new beliefs. Okay? So you have your paper in front of you. I want you to sit up straight, palms up or palms down on your thighs. Paper just right in front of you. So if you're at a desk, you can put it in front of you at the desk. If you're sitting on the ground, sitting cross-legged on the ground, just put the paper in front of you there. Back straight, palms up or palms down. Close your eyes and take a deep breath all the way into your belly. And release. And another deep breath all the way into your belly. And release. Just know that you're being guided. You're being guided every minute of every day. And you can trust that guidance. Whatever name you choose to call it, you can trust that that source loves you more than anything. It is constantly guiding you to your utmost desires. All that source wants for you is to feel peaceful and to allow you to want what you want, to bring your gifts into the world, to connect with others, to be in community. And it's always been there in you. It's always been guiding you, and it will always guide you. All you have to do is tune into it. Take another deep breath all the way into your belly. And release. In order to be free of fear, you must do two things. The first thing you do is release resistance to the fear happening, to what you are afraid of happening. And the other thing you must do is to release your fear of love and faith. So go ahead and bring to mind the fear that you worked with in this exercise. And remember the fears beneath that and the fears beneath that. And know that no matter how real this fear feels, it's not real at all. Because fear isn't real. Take a deep breath all the way into your belly. And release. Relax your shoulders. Relax your forehead. Relax your jaw. And let's make a decision now to be done with this fear. To walk away from this fear and to leave it in the meditation. To leave it in the past. This fear served its purpose and it's no longer serving you. Now it's time to expand beyond this fear and to be free. Now bring to mind exactly what you imagine happening in the worst case scenario. If you need to, you can open your eyes and remind yourself what you wrote down. And close your eyes and imagine yourself walking through your worst case scenario. And you are fully equipped to handle it. You allow yourself to feel your feelings. You allow yourself to go through it. And you know that you are guided by some force that's greater to make meaning out of this. To honor this, to serve from whatever happens. You can handle it because you don't have to handle it alone. You're handling it with the universe, source, love, intelligence. You will be told what to do each step of the way. You will be placed in a higher spiritual level. You will know things in that moment that you couldn't possibly know before that moment about how to handle it. Take a deep breath all the way into your belly. And release. And be the courageous person handling this. As you feel any resistance or more fear come up, shine a light on that coming from within you. Shine a light on that feeling. Light from the universe is rushing through your body and giving you energy. You're being guided and carried through this situation. You feel peaceful. you feel free. Now open your eyes and remind yourself of the best case scenario. Read what you wrote and close your eyes and imagine the best case scenario is happening. And feel the feelings of the best case scenario. It already happened. It's done. And light is shining through you and in you and around you and through any resistance that you may feel from the best case scenario happening. Imagine that it's already done. It's okay for it to be easy. It's okay for life to be easy. It's okay for life to be easy right now, no matter what's happening. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be peaceful. Your anxiety doesn't prevent bad things from happening. You can handle anything. Now all of us, close your eyes and imagine that coronavirus has disappeared from the planet. And feel the feelings of coronavirus being gone from the entire planet. And everyone is walking outside, transformed from this situation, in disbelief over the miracle that it is completely gone. And feel the feelings of coronavirus being gone from the planet. Take a deep breath all the way into your belly. And release. Noticing any resistance you may feel to coronavirus being completely gone, any doubt you may feel, and shine that inner light on that doubt. Shine it until it vanishes. And feel the feelings of it being gone forever. And we return to a new, more joyful normal than we've ever known before. Now open your eyes and remind yourself of your new beliefs. And close your eyes and just mantra those in. Say them to yourself over and over again. And see yourself carrying out your action plan. When this fear comes up, you apply your new beliefs. When this fear comes up, you take your actions. Your actions based on faith. And take a deep breath all the way into your belly and release all fear and all resistance. You can trust yourself. You can trust the universe. You can trust other people. Come back whenever you're ready. You can open your eyes. And know that you've prepared now for anything to happen. You've rehearsed for anything to happen, the good and the bad, and you've got it. So that process, I want you to just give me a comment about how you're feeling right now. Just tell us a word about how you're feeling. And this process is available to you on any fear that you may have. So I will be adding all those questions to the comment section later today. And then you can re-listen to this meditation again and again, remembering that it's all about preparing your mind. So you prepare your mind with writing, then you rehearse through the meditation. So you're rehearsing, and then you act by walking this out into the world. Okay, so we're feeling grounded, hopeful, peaceful, confident, calm, present, calm. Yeah, confused. Okay, that's okay, Douglas. It's okay to feel confused. You just let yourself feel confused. Yeah. Hopeful, happier, grounded. Good. Okay, my beautiful people. So this work is always available to you. Yes. Oh, good. Okay. Emotional, wonderful, hopeful, grateful, surrendered. God is in control now more than ever. I am so excited to see his master plan revealed after Corona is miraculously vanished. Yes. I actually believe I can handle the fear now. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. I want to hear from Walker, if she's still here. Okay, guys. You did incredible work today. Thank you for doing this work. You actually raised the vibration of the entire planet by doing this work for yourself. So thank you on behalf of everyone on the planet. You are rock stars. You can continue to do this work. And I really encourage you to make a list of your fears around coronavirus. Come back here, answer the questions, and then to do the meditation and start to release yourself one by one of the fears that you have. Each one can give you more and more peace as you dismantle the thought system based on fear and start to walk in the way of love, in the way of faith, and the way of courage, right? Faith comes after you do what scares you, not beforehand. After you do what scares you. So if there's something you need to do, including sitting on your hands and not making a phone call out of fear, then that is actually a courageous act to not make that phone call. Okay, you're so welcome, everyone. I love you all. Bless you all. I love you. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Mwah! Thank you for being here.